So the War Within pre-patch just dropped today on the 24th of July, and you can see the Warbands feature is immediately available upon login. Now from this main screen, you'll see your 4 favorited characters. By default, it should put like a bunch of just random 4 characters. You can go ahead and change this at any time by dragging one on the right hand side and just placing it in the slot like so to bring them up on the front page. And when you select them, as you can tell here, you can both get a little animation like, you know, back in the day with Diablo. And you'll also be able to see information like their realm, their spec, and where they are currently right now in Veldraken, their professions, as well as how much gold that character currently has on them. A pretty nifty feature is that if you go ahead in the right hand side here and you search in the warband list, you can actually search for characters that are on different realms. For example, if I search Paladin, you can see here I've got a Paladin from Twilight's Hammer realm and a Paladin from Ravencrest over here, both showing up at the same time. And if you scroll down on the list on the right hand side, you should be able to see all your characters no matter what realm they're on as well. You can see that same Paladin from Twilight's Hammer is here, and all of my other characters from Ravencrest realm are here as well. So every character that you have will be in this nice convenient list for you to choose from. All right, so let's go ahead and enter on our main and show you what's new. So immediately the first thing you'll probably notice is that your talents are completely different. You have to now figure out what talent tree to use because you got to change how you play again. Like, you know, for some characters, it's going to be very different. For some of them, might not be so crazy. You'll see that you have a class-specific tree on the left and then a spec-specific tree on the right with some of the similar spells that you had previously, but a lot of new ones. I know for example, Mistweaver has a lot of spells that I hated using are now gone, which is great. I don't have to use them anymore. But of course, this does mean you're going to have to play around and see what works better and what works worse now because, you know, everything's different. Nothing is going to be as the same as it was before. But this is something that's going to change, I guess, well into the expansion. You'll also see there are hero talents, but these are only unlocked once we start War Within. So at level 71, as it says, you'll be able to start using these. You'll also notice in the talent tree over here, you actually have your spellbook as a button over here instead. And you can see this looks completely different. You have all your spells shown here by your, you know, monk, all the ones that you learned as a Mistweaver. And if you go into the different pages, you can see Brewmaster and Windwalker and, you know, all of the other ones. If this page is too big for you, you do have this little arrow at the top right that you can go ahead and bring it as a single page. You can't drag it. I don't know why they never let you drag these windows, man. Like, why? Why can't we drag these windows? And at the top left here, you also have your general, you know, spells and stuff. The next major thing I want to talk about is skywriting. This is the new flying feature that uses your current mounts, the mounts that are forgotten, the ones that you haven't seen in like a year or more because, you know, dragon flying only lets you fly with dragons, like the same 5 mounts. You can now use various different mounts from the base game. It will pull from your favorites list. If they are flyable, in this case, they will be, you know, adapted to skywriting just like this, and you can skyride across the world. I particularly like this because I feel like I haven't flown with other mounts other than the Dragonflight mounts in such a long time. So it's a huge breath of fresh air. Now you'll also have a button to change the flying. So if you go ahead and go to Warband Collections, which is just your typical collections, just called Warband Collections because everything is collected here now from no matter what character you play on. You'll see there is this button over here that says I'm currently in skywriting, and if you click this, you'll see there's 2 things here. Skills and unlocks. This is basically the skill tree. Now these 2 things are new. I don't recall them being here. You'll get to select one of these each. And this other one over here is the switch flight style. You can actually put this on your hotbar if you want, and you can go ahead and swap from skywriting to the classic flying, right? So you can go ahead and switch to steady flying is actually what it's called. And you'll see now if I go ahead and I mount up, I can now fly like you would normally would, and the best way to demonstrate that is hovering in midair because that's something you can't do with skywriting. You'll also be happy to know that you can use the dragon flying mounts, the ones from Dragonflight, in steady flying in case you wanted to see them even more. Luckily, it's up to you to change your switch flight style whenever you want. It takes like, you know, 5 to 6 seconds to swap, and you can use this whenever you want if you want to swap the different flying style so that you can fly how you want whenever you want. There's also a new feature for people who are afraid of spiders, who have arachnophobia. If you go into your options and you go to the new accessible settings under general, you'll see there's a new one highlighted, arachnophobia mode. Boom, select this. And now that Black Widow is a black crab. So yeah, crabs, interesting. Wow, that damage though. In that same area, we also have the self highlight over here, which you can change to have these different highlights. I don't know if this was a thing in the past or if they just added it in. This will allow you to either have the circle at the bottom of your character, a highlight around your entire character, and the icon above your character, or just one or any two of those. There's also the new transmog feature that when you collect transmog, even if it does not fit for you, for example, like these plate gauntlets, you will still have collected them into your transmog collection for other characters who can wear that type of, armor. This saves you the trouble of collecting transmogs and makes it so much quicker because you now have the ability to grind every armor set in the game super quickly now. You're also going to get a new quest called the Warbands Warbanding Together. This will lead you to the Caverns of Time and you can just go to the quest. Upon completing this quest, you will get the Warband Bank Distance Inhibitor. That is a sentence and a half. And when you go ahead and use this, it basically summons your warbank towards you, so you can access your warbank from wherever you are. But I don't know why that I'm not able to access it right now. I don't know if this is an issue with everybody, but I do believe that you'll be able to fill this with anything that is not soulbound, so you can put BOEs there for your other characters to learn. You can put reagents, which you can pull through automatically for any kinds of professions, so crafting. You're also able to share gold across all your different characters quite conveniently, or share it directly into the warband so that you can, have a mobile bank with you whenever you need, which is actually pretty nifty. Now that's all we have to do currently for this week. Until next week, around the 31st, you will be able to do the Radiant Echoes event that begins around this time. I think for NA players, it might be on Tuesday. For European players, it's on the 31st. And this will be the final quest line before the pre-expansion quest line, essentially, to the War Within. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.